Alright, so this is a electric tailgate kit from AliExpress for a Honda Civic. Seen these on YouTube with the final product, but I've never seen an installation video, so figured I'd make one. It's going to be interesting. First things first, start removing all the interior of the trunk, so that'll include all of this stuff, all of this stuff, all of this stuff, so you can actually get to wiring things up. Also, we will need to be removing the upper section of the trunk. There's a couple screws in here. I forgot where they were. I will find them. Oh yeah, one of them was definitely right there. For this rear piece of trim that just goes over the latch, after you pop out the sub-trunk cover, just pull up. Okay, the screws for the trunk trims is right underneath here. I already took it off, but if you just use a pry tool, focus. If you just use, oh shit. Okay, here's the other side. If you just use a pry tool, pry up that cap, you'll have a Phillips head screw right under there that holds the trunk trim in place, and then just pull it off. Be careful though, they are non-ferrous. They do not stick to magnets. They suck. There's also two more screws inside the little interior grab handles, one on each side. Okay, next we're going to remove the door latch because they provided a fancy new one. You will need Torx because Phillips isn't good enough for this, I suppose. What came off? What's going in? It's got, I think that's for soft close? Alright, from the Google Translate instruction sheet that I got from the seller, I need to splice that white wire into the unlock signal, so I'm going to start hooking up the wiring harness now. Okay, since I can't read any of this, well, except for the numbers and letters, but since I can't read any of the labeling on the wires, i.e. that, actually no, it's upside down, something hand? Yeah, whatever. We're going to be going to the kindergarten school of wiring. We're going to make the colors look the same. Yeah. Oh, so apparently, these are some decorative assholes. It's supposed to be Velcroed? Velcro? Okay. I mean, it doesn't mean I have to drill a couple less holes in my car. That's nice. Alright, as far as the push button is concerned, I'm going to put it here. I have drilled a hole with the provided hole saw. It was actually pretty alright. Problem, this part's enclosed. So I'm going to go to the screw off, I'm going to Dremel a hole in the back of things spool, and I'm going to make an opening so I can route wires and screw on the switch from the back. Switch actually feels pretty good as far as switches are concerned. Nice and tactile. You might even be able to hear that. Yeah, it has tape that comes with it, so should be, fingers crossed, pretty moisture sealed, and yeah, screw it onto the Mac. Alright, a little bit of Dremel and knife work, and I could get a couple fingers in there to tighten up the nut that you definitely can't see right now. Yeah. I mean, most of it is held on by the adhesive anyways, so should be fine. Since the controller is going to be held on with sticky Velcro anyways, I found this nice flat patch on the driver's side, right on that sticker there. That's a nice flat patch you can put the sticky Velcro onto. Should be a nice place to put the controller. Alright, I could not film the replacement of the gas struts with the electric actuation arms, but please have a friend, otherwise you'll be using your head to support the trunk as it falls. Yeah, the process itself is pretty simple. All you need is to get yourself a flathead screwdriver, and that little pry point right there, you're going to want to get a flathead under there, pull up, and then pull the strut away from the little ball clamp. It's the same system on the gas struts. Okay, so the little rubber grommet for the tailgate wiring to go all the way up here, they should just be able to pull right off. So just grab, yoink. And as far as the wiring harness is concerned, I have cut off the connectors because there is no way I am going to be able to fit those connectors through this pipe, which is already stuffed with wires. I have this nice copper spool, a spool of copper enameled wire that I've been able to poke through because it is semi-rigid, so that I can wrap it with this cable and fish it through. Oh, I need to tie that up too. Okay, after a couple minutes of struggling, wire is through. Be careful, make sure to push as well as pull, and just shuffle this accordion section back and forth to get the wire to move along. Next, you're going to take the copper that's still connected. Mine is long enough, but you need to fish from this hole all the way up to this cavity, which is going to be fun. I actually overshot it slightly and went up a bit, but I was able to stick a hand up there and pull the end out. So now it's just a matter of getting the rest of that as well as the line all the way through. And then after that, we can use some butt connectors or solder or twist, whatever you want the ends back on. And we should be able to fish it through the upper section, where I've also routed the little strut wires, which you can see. As these ones right here, you can go behind all these ribs in the trunk. Okay, after you have this fished through all the way, you gotta fish the other ends of the wires through. Beyond this outer skin, there is an inner skin, so I would recommend you pull down the headliner and kind of reach your hand and kind of finger the hole a bit. Alright, if you have the kick sensor, I am in the middle of removing the bumper. There are the two bolts that are here, and in your wheel well you will find two more screws as well as a vertical, oh sorry, that's about the light. There's another screw that goes straight up that secures the bumper, so you can pull it off like this. There's also another screw at the bottom underneath the bumper that's vertical to secure the bumper to the mud flat back here, or the wheel liner. Yeah, you will need to remove all of those in order to pull the bumper off. And as far as routing wires is concerned, after we get the wire through, we will need to send it through to the front of the car. What I did was remove the weather stripping and then sent a copper wire through the headliner. These are from previous things that I've wired up in this car. Dash cam and trailer hitch wiring, trailer light wiring. But yeah, and now that we have it all taped up, we're just going to pull it all the way through. Alright, next we need to remove the bottom of the B-pillar, which sits right about there on the inside of the car. To do that, the piece that sits across here, sits like that. No, it's just like this. The B-pillar trim goes under here. You just need to grab it on the carpet side, pull up. It's just a few of these little pusher clips. And then afterwards, for the B-pillar trim, just gotta get a fingernail around it and then just pry it around, and then it'll pop right off. And then after that, we shine a light through this grommet. Through this grommet, which you can pull off. We need access to... this is hard to show. Let's see. There we go. We need that white wire, which is the unlock signal wire. We need to tap into that with this, similar to the unlocking button that we did on the tailgate. Yeah, gotta get this thing clipped on that white wire. And if we shine a light through this grommet now, that we have the B-pillar trim off, we can see light. So we can run it underneath the upper B-pillar trim through the top and drop that wire down and then shine it in, and then feed it in through that hole to go to the outside to clip into the signal wire. This is real fun. Alright, now that we have this wire fed through that hole, in order to use this clip, so it starts off like this, or at least it probably ended up this way when you fed it through. So just get a fingernail underneath that white lip, and then it should pop open. Doing this with one hand is interesting. Yeah, there we go. Now it should pop open. You can see a little bit of a V copper scissors looking thing. You just want to take that and loop it around the wire that you want. And then once you got it looped around, you just gotta take a pair of pliers and then clamp that nice and tight. That'll cut through the plastic sheath and make good contact with, well, at least make contact with the copper wire on the inside. And after you're done, so I couldn't show you because I needed both hands for this. Now that you're done, stuff everything back in. Make sure your grommets back on so that it doesn't leak water inside your doors. And then, you know, to tidy up the wiring. My strategy is generally to stuff it underneath the headliner. It's been working so far, and that's what I'm gonna keep doing. Yeah, as far as the button install goes, this panel right here is where you'll put the button. You kind of just grab a lip and you pull. It's just full of these push retainers, so as long as you pull out like this, it should be okay. And then afterwards, this was the placeholder that was in mine. What you do is it was originally inserted like this, and you'll see it from the back like this. If you just take 2 fingers or 2 screwdrivers, press on these clips so that the retaining clips don't engage with the housing, and then you can pop that right out. And then it's a matter of slipping the new button through the new hole, and then you'll end up with that. Okay, and as far as for the power, you have the 2 accessory and 12-volt wires for the kick sensor, as well as the main button and power cables for the new controller. I like to run these along the inside of the weather seal until about this plastic section, after which I could just kind of stuff it in through there and then have it poke out through the inside. You should, yeah, you see that in the middle there's some evidence of previous wiring. For the kick sensor, I'll probably just tap into that because that is for the dash cam, and that already has accessory and 12 volt. For the tailgate controller, I'll probably grab a new 20 amps fuse to piggyback off of, since it is a bit more of a high power device. And then I can test it. Alright, so this is the wire for the button. I have it grounded on that bolt right there, which is part of the frame, or at least I believe it is. Make sure when you're grounding your wire, you choose one that's in metal reliably. Like that one I think might be in metal, might work, but just choose one with just bare metal. I have this little rat's nest that I have bundled up. You can see a couple of the junction connections that I've done. And then you can see that vertical double focus. See that vertical double stack of fuses in the back? That is the hardwired kit that was provided with the liftgate. And yeah, all that's left is to connect this button panel back on, and I think I can test something. Oh wait, no, I still need to put the connectors back on that wire we cut to fish it. Damn it. Alright, so a few butt connectors later, the connectors are back on. And I will stuff them. Oh, that's gross. Okay. I will stuff them through that channel. Oh, you can't see anything. That channel in the back. I hope you can see that wire in the back there. That channel which goes across right there. And then drop it to here. And then we should be able to at least test some things out. Alright, tidied up some of the wires. All of them are up in that little crevice. Clearances look good. I have nothing in the way. I haven't put the weather stripping back on yet because there's still more work to do. But, hey, that button lights up. If we press it. Oh, heck yes. Let's see. Oh, isn't that a beauty? Let's see. Trunk is securely closed. Press once. Oh, ain't that sweet. Alright. And just to show off the wireless function, it's 3 slow presses of the unlock button. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, that wasn't slow enough. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Oh, look at that beauty. I have spent, I think, better half of a full day on this now. Not done, but we're getting there. Whoopie-dee-doo. Whoopie-dee-doo. Alright. Kick sensor time. Let's go. If you also have the kick bumper kit, you will need to remove the bumper, which will first require removing this trim piece right here. What you're going to do is just going to find this little pry point right there, pull it up, and it should pop off. It is kind of brittle, so you might snap it. Good luck. So, for the original kit installation, you are required to jumper that wire that comes off of the trunk button, and that is what allows that controller to intercept the signal from the button and then do all the fancy schmancy stuff. My hypothesis, because the instructions for the kick sensor is all in Chinese, is that I also need to jack that wire with this wire that I have fished over from the kick sensor. Now, it was originally green. I had to extend it, so I used some of the leftover wire that I had, which was blue. And to tee off of it, I'm just going to be grabbing this line that the controller uses, and we're going to use the same little fittings that I was using before. Alright, to test that hypothesis about my wire hearing hopes and dreams, I'm going to run a test before I start putting screws and things. So, this is the connector for the kick sensor. This is the kick sensor. Okay, we're going to run this test while my phone is precariously set up in my car. Going to plug bro in. Sensor area. Sensor area. Is it even on? Wait, why is it not on? What the hell? Huh? Note to future installers, yellow is 12 volt, red is accessory. This is different from my dash cam, which is the other way around. So, it didn't light up. Spent a good 20 minutes troubleshooting that. Alright, we're going to try out this kick sensor. Just lock the trunk. And this would be the bumper side, so I'm going to simulate my foot. Perfect. Excellent. Excellent. Very good stuff. Also, that hunch about the blue wire being clipped onto the old black is correct. Nice. Alright, after all the screws are undone, you should be able to pop the hood off. Just be careful around the headlight area. It gets a little bit sticky. You might need to wiggle around. You may need to pry on this section instead, or as well, in order to break those clips loose. These ones right here. Also, just to note, this cable will be connected. It's just a matter of pushing on that tab and then prying out. As far as wiring it is concerned, there's a grommet in the middle of the back. There's also a few more grommets in the rear for like the sensors and previous cable that we mentioned. I'll probably be using this grommet today, considering I already taped up that one pretty tight for the trailer lights. Next, you're going to use the template sticker to mark out where you want it. I already put it in and drilled the holes. Yeah, and then peel the kick sensor and stick it on, and then screw it in from the bottom. After that's all done, you should end up with something like this, where it's just kind of, well, my routing's not great, but it's just router long, and then into the grommet. You should also tape up the grommet connection there with some electrical tape just to make sure it's a bit more weatherproof. Okay, tidied up some wiring, and I'm gonna put the interior back together. So all the wires are nice and hidden. Sweet. And this is what it looks like after putting everything back. Sort of. I did lose track of where that went, but that's fine. That's purely aesthetic. Things back in. Kick sensor is installed. Yeah. Oh, what a beauty.